Hello and welcome to DC Figures and Collectibles. I am Tyler G of Batman Figs on Instagram, as well as Batman TAS Figs on YouTube, though with all the new rule changes that might change. And then by my co-host, who is all the way from Stoke-on-Trent, England, and you can find him on Instagram at the.batfan, and he is Scott. Scott, how you doing?
Hello, everybody listening. Yeah, fantastic that everyone's tuning in. And yes, I'm doing really good, thanks, man. Yeah, how are you doing? You doing good?
I'm doing well, and I'm doing a lot better now that we have the whole Instagram situation taken care of. And
Yes.
right off the bat, we had it. We've known about it since last week, but we had our guest already lined up, and we didn't want to have any kind of negative news put along with this guy because he's an awesome guest and everyone loves having him on. And but anyway, last week, or no one knows the exact day, but we got hacked on our Instagram, and they changed the email handle that is used to sign in. And so I find that out only after days of going back and forth with Instagram, having to prove that the page is ours, sending in even my photo identification, state California ID, and a picture of it, not the actual thing. And also like proving the password. I knew the password and they said it was right, but something must have changed. And because that's also in the hands of the email place, I guess, like they can't give that away, I guess, for some lawful reason. So
yeah, it's very weird.
So we lost out on 12 months of work, essentially, of building up a pretty significant fan base in that amount of time.
That's very annoying. And you'll be losing a significant amount of money if you don't change your YouTube as well. You'll be losing £43,000 or dollars, whatever it was. I saw some people. It's just ridiculous, lad. Yeah, very strange.
It's even made such mainstream news, all this YouTube stuff, even with action figures, that PewDiePie, who has over 100 million subscribers on YouTube, he talked about Pixel Dan and talking about how he's talking about all the changes. And so I'm sure Pixel Dan got blessed with subscribers from that because that's just a huge name. And so the news and the hurt is hitting a lot of people. We've seen videos of like D Amazing said he's still going to make videos no matter what. So that's cool. But we know it's going to hurt a lot of people that actually built up this whole subgenre niche business on their own. A lot of people built it from grassroots to the point where they're able to make a living off of it, and now it's getting took away. So that kind of sucks.
Weird. Yeah, it's extremely strange, and it just seems to me like they're screwing over people that use their platform again. It's just
to reward the big companies.
Yeah, too many bureaucratic owners high up there in those kind of places. It's deeply, deeply annoying.
If you saw the money that these YouTubers are making, and like, how are we not tapping into this?
Yeah. It's really frustrating. Facebook's been that way now. I feel like for years. YouTube's going that way. I feel like Instagram's showing traits of it at the moment. So I think it's time to be concerned, unfortunately.
But that also, if you are in this realm of industry where you actually do make a living off of it, or even if you do it like we do, where we don't get paid, we get paid very minimally, like I think a couple dollars for every listen, like every 40 listens or something like that. But it's nothing significant, nothing that anyone could live off of. But for those that do that, it's important that you diversify. Make sure you get on a bunch of different platforms and as much as you can. So that's why it's cool to see even people like Lewis has gone on to Twitter. So if you are a fan of the Bat Collector, you can follow him on Twitter. So in case anything ever happens to his Instagram, you'll know where to find him for real.
Yeah, Twitter's quite a cool way to. I mean, Twitter's a very toxic. I'm not going to lie. I think Twitter's a toxic place, but I've never seen the toy community on there, so that's quite an interesting sort of idea. Or maybe I'm just not looking on it hard enough, but it doesn't seem like a place that would be sort of obvious for toy community pictures. So that's quite interesting.
What's funny is I got like my biggest shout outs from the few pictures I posted to Twitter. Like Paul Dini retweeted a picture.
That is a good point, yeah. And Kevin Conroy's there, isn't he?
Simon gets noticed from them all the time for his artwork. So Twitter does have some benefits, even though it is harder to build up the likes and everything. If that's
true. Yeah, that is a good point.
However, enough with the social media stuff, even though that is essentially what we love doing and being a part of.
Yeah.
Scott, how is your week in toy photography? And you also have some big
It's
news
good.
for us.
It's been enjoyable to not actually do anything for a change.
Well, explain, because you only announced it on your Instagram. So for our listeners,
yeah. So on Monday, just decided to take a mini break from it all, and just not post for 4 days, 4 and a bit days. It was just a good opportunity to do something different, and close the first chapter and work on the second chapter, do something different. And
I like that.
That's definitely what I've been doing. So been working hard to try and do some new stuff. It's weird, even though I've not been posting, probably been doing more pictures than was doing before. So yeah, the break kind of came before then, and now I've been working to get some new material out there. But yeah, I've been enjoying living through other people's pictures. I know you've mentioned things like this before, and I never truly understood what it meant until now. So it's been fantastic to enjoy other people's work, especially yourself, Lewis, and even the artwork that Dave and Simon have been working on. Yeah, really.
Who
fantastic.
Is that one? Who did that picture of Alfred working on the armored helmet that you did in the store?
That was My Plastic Universe, and that is a ridiculous picture. So you, if anyone hasn't seen it, you probably have, but if you haven't, check that out. Yeah, so My Plastic Universe, what a picture that was. Outstanding. It's all handmade diorama, amazing.
We haven't had him on yet.
Yeah, that could be about to change.
Yeah, we might have to have him.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic to speak to him because, his diorama's enormous.
I've known beforehand since last week, because you told me a little bit that you were going to take the time and you get to work on pictures. So it is cool to hear that you've actually been rejuvenated and you've been doing all this work on pictures and refining the craft. And I've been sad, and I've been savoring the pictures that you did post before you announced your break, which was on the weekend theme. Now, how was that? Did you enjoy it? Did you savor that?
Yeah, the pictures from that were I had them for a while, a few of them. I had the picture. Yeah, that was a new one. That actually was a new one. So I did take a picture of that. I think I took it on Friday last week. So we did a day off theme, which was with the back collector, which is quite ironic, actually.
Yeah, it is ironic. I was going to say, I even love this this caption because it could be idyllic for you. It's like, I'm going to take a little mini vacation. You guys take care.
Yeah.
You guys hold down the fort while I'm gone.
It was quite ironic, yeah. But yeah, so just wanted to do something a little bit different. I don't picture that Batgirl very often. I haven't done a picture of Robin for a long time, it felt like. So, it was about time to do that.
We know you're not a fan of the smiling head sculpt.
Oh, that's the problem, man. That's one of my favourite figures, apart from the head sculpt, because it's always smiling, like a serious Robin.
There's nothing even wrong with the head sculpt itself. It's just that it's all we ever see.
Yeah, it is. They should have done a Robin expression part rather than re-releasing it with white shading on a cape.
Oh, we'll definitely talk about those figures coming up. I have a lot to say.
Yeah.
But it's even funny. I like that they're both smiling because, like, yes, we get to have the cave to ourselves. Alfred doesn't look pleased.
Yeah, Alfred's like, uh-oh.
Pizza boxes to clean up.
Yeah.
Oh, backwards.
Yeah, that was a new one as well, I've got to say.
And I love that we get to see the Joker grenade. Those never get enough love.
Yeah, I like to put those little details in there if I can make it work. And the balancing that dog was a pain.
I bet.
The one in the middle of the screen, that was annoying, but yeah. And I just tried to do pictures this weekend of figures that I don't feature very often, although that's probably going to look stupid for one of them. But for this weekend, I just wanted to do something I hadn't really done for a while. So I'm taking a picture of that Joker for a long time, it felt like. And, he's one of the most accurate figures. So.
Sadly, yes.
Yeah.
Too bad he didn't come with a head sculpt for like a Batman Returns flashback Joker or something.
Oh, that'd have been great, yeah. Yeah, that would have been a fantastic idea.
Come on. Come on, computer. Well, we could kind of see it, and it is it's the Hawkman, right?
Yes, Hawkman.
There we go.
Yeah, I'd had that picture for a little while. I wasn't going to upload it, but decided it would kind of work for this theme. And
tell us about this figure.
Yeah, so that figure is the DC Universe. I want to say Classics, but I don't think it is. I can't. No, I don't think it's the Classics way. I can't remember which one.
Signature?
It might be. Yes. Signature rings a bell. It's one of the most incredible figures that you can possibly find. The wings on that thing are incredible.
Brilliant.
Yeah, the wings proper spread out wide on it.
And is that paint gold?
Yes, it is. It looks epic, man. It's such a nice figure.
I don't know anything about Hawkman, but I'm tempted to get back.
Yeah, it's same.
No more about Hawkman.
I don't know much about Hawkman other than the animated series stuff. So, yeah, he's such an incredible figure though, and the axe that he comes with is fantastic.
That's our routine police hot take siren going by. They love the photo.
The Joker sirens in the background.
This is a very enjoyable photo. This one was one of my favorite, probably the favorite that you did for Team Up.
Yeah, that was probably a little predictable, but yeah.
No, not at all, because I love the way you incorporated the Great Ghost DVD on it. Like
that, it wasn't something I was going to originally. Yeah, that wasn't something I was originally doing, but we've been talking about storytelling. I was like, well, I need to create something. A boring picture of them isn't going to do anything, so I wanted to create a bit of a narrative with it and put the Grey Ghost, VHS in there, as well as the pizza.
There we go. Yeah. Time appropriate with the VHS, of course.
Yes, yeah.
Proper use of the pizza, some Harvey Bullock donuts, Batcave series. The perfect back lazy boy chair behind him.
Yeah, and then the print screen in the background is Jon Stewart's apartment from the episode Hearts and Minds.
See, I think Batman would just bring him to their place because that's too below him. This is one that I know that you probably one of your favorite Mezco.
Yes, I think so.
Hopefully,
I think it probably is favorite Mezco, purely because it's just incredibly accurate, and it's either that one or the actual normal suit of the BVS Batman. Either one of those two, they're amazing figures, absolutely amazing.
Where did you get Kryptonite?
I bought that off eBay. It just looks like a green stone that's got sort of, I don't know. It looks quite like kryptonite. So yeah, I figured it'd do for it. Yeah.
And that's the last picture of Day Off, right?
It is. Yeah, those are the 5 posts for it. Yeah.
And then you did one more for good measure.
Yes.
And this is definitely hopefully it goes up. Yeah. Whew. This is one of my favorite figures to photograph, favorite one to come up with ideas for. And it's one that you don't photograph enough, but I'm thankful that you did because it was cool to see pop up in your feed.
Yeah, largely inspired by the picture we talked about that you did in the last podcast where you had the Read My Lips post. That was fantastic. And Ventriloquist and Scarface are fantastic villains, and the figure is just amazing for it. So I can't believe we actually got a figure of that. I'm sure that's one
of the rare few times he's had that 2 hands on at one time.
Yeah,
But I gotta say, how long did that Batman pose take? Because not only did you do great use of showing off the articulation, but it just looks like a very realistic pose.
It did take a while. The actual pose of him kneeling down was the tricky bit because I didn't want to put him on both on his knees because it's not how you would approach a situation like that. You wouldn't get on your knees for something like that. I feel like if you put on both your knees, it's something that you're despairing or you're sad about something. But I wanted to make it look like he's just kneeling on one knee. So rested his hand on his knee. That took a while to just get right, just to balance it. And the cape was annoying as well because of the wires. I nearly ditched it for the floppy cape, but it just wouldn't look as good. So
looking at it frustrates me thinking about posting it. So I can't imagine trying to actually pose it.
No, it was annoying. That the depth of the shot doesn't really come across in that because it was quite deep because of I've used the Gotham balcony piece behind it. So
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh man, sorry. I really like it. I really like the color of the background too, with the purple orange.
Yeah. That episode's from Night of the Ninja. You know, where he jumps into the water. That print screen's from. Yeah, that's from the very last scene of that.
I love that you pick even episodes that have nothing to do with it fits the background.
Yeah, sometimes I have to find another use for them. Since we'd have a Night of the Ninja figure, I can't quite do that picture, unfortunately, which is so annoying. But yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. It's kind of you.
And I never get tired of seeing Zatanna's poster either.
Yeah, always gotta put that in there somewhere rather than a blank wall. Figure a way to work that out.
Well, the good thing is you'll be posting for this episode at least.
Yes, definitely. Probably won't be
till, a picture.
Yeah, it won't be till next week, but I've been working on a picture for it. Yeah, definitely. Which is one of my favourite episodes. I couldn't not do a picture for it, and need to keep the streak going.
Can you tell us what this weekend theme
is? Yes, this weekend we'll be making the return, and it is going to be a classic villains theme.
It's always nice to go back to the classics.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe not necessarily classic villains as classic portrayals of villains as well. So might be more than one Joker picture that appears this weekend. In fact, there probably will be.
And I don't think anyone will complain.
No, that's true. That is true. Can't get enough of Joker at the moment.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that too. There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot of Joker going around lately, and even on your page, there's a lot of Joker going around. So this is one thing. This is one thing I wanted to talk to you about, which is the higher toys.
See, this is right up your alley because you're a big fan of this game.
Yes, I do love the Injustice games. The story behind it is a fantastic, fascinating story.
It's fun just to watch on YouTube cutscenes.
Yeah, it is. That's literally the last time I did do that. I just watched it as a movie, and it's just fantastic. Really is.
Two-parter too. It was like 6 hours. So,
yeah, fantastic.
But yeah, I'd like to thank Hiya Toys. They sent me these samples. They sent me, I believe, 4. They sent me a Supergirl, Wonder Woman, the Flash, and the Joker that you saw. And I gotta say, starting off the bat, I don't want to like these figures, knowing that they're 1/18 scale, because I don't want to start collecting 3/4-inch figures after I've devoted so much time and money to 6-inch and all the diorama pieces. But once you see these figures in person, it's actually almost impossible to not like them because there's so much detail and so much love put into it. I mean, Wonder Woman's costume alone, I wouldn't want to be the person that had to do the sculpt work because that seems crazy. And then the Flash, I see people on the picture I posted saying they wish they had a 6-inch version of this because it's so freaking cool looking and there's so much detail. And for such a small figure, it's quite impressive. But not only that, but the articulation is like getting a Mafex or SH Figure Arts. Usually 3 3/4-inch or 5 POA or not heavily articulated, and these are quite impressive. So they got a big response. So hopefully the people are liking them.
Yeah, very enjoyable picture, that one. The Flash pose. I don't know how you balance these Flash figures. You do it with the Beast Kingdom, and you do it with the even with the multiverse ones as well. Seeing you do it. Fantastic balancing.
That's no help of a stand on that. The only one on a stand is, of course, Supergirl.
Yes.
But she has a what is it called? Clothes hanger wired, and it's in her left armpit.
Fantastic.
So kind of hidden by the legs, but thanks. I'm glad that people are liking it.
And we get to the pleasure of some individual ones, and that got a huge response as well. Fantastic picture.
As it should, because it's not anything to do with my picture. It's just in broad daylight with a little bit of a phone light on it, and it's just the figure itself is so good looking.
Mm.
Same with that. I just
Joker
put
as
it
well.
outside on a piece of paper and let the figure speak for itself.
Yeah. Well, the Supergirl as well.
Beautiful.
And then the Wonder Woman. So yeah, really nice.
I hope
great.
Why can't Mezco make a figure like that?
I know, yeah. What is going on with Mezco right now? So this is a throwback picture, I do believe.
Yes, and because we
Fantastic.
did extreme sets, I had to show off the elevator in an elevator scenario game.
Yeah, it's a memorable scene as well from the Suicide Squad movie, and yes, I really do enjoy that picture. And yeah, we were talking about I think that's the first time you use it as an elevator, isn't
it? It is the very first time, and I got to thank my dad for this because when searching for a figure, I could just mention it offhand. Like I was looking for that Diablo for a good price, and he just found it on eBay. So it's nice that he supports the habit, the drug.
That's brilliant.
Yes.
That's fantastic. And speaking of fantastic, we've got to talk about this picture as well. Trial picture.
That was a labor of love.
I can imagine that was a trial, getting all that to set up.
It was, and it was. It's one of those nights where I think I took a nap during the day, so I don't do it often, but I got heavy sleep, and so I just wasn't tired at night, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try to make this come to life. And from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., I worked on that, and it took a while to get everything right, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
Finally get something to look like that, how you want it to look.
Yeah, absolutely was worth it. Fantastic.
I'm just glad people liked it. Otherwise, I would have been like, why'd I do it? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, there's no editing in there at all. It's all diorama and natural stuff, which is what I love.
No, that's actually edit. There is edit.
Oh, really? Where?
Okay, so the only thing that is the first layer of the picture is Batman and Joker.
Right. And okay.
I took individual pictures of the box on the left that made it like a jury box, and had to go around and erase it manually because I didn't want to take any chances. So that took a while. And then I posted the other one individually, of course, and then it didn't look right because Batman's covered by the desk. So I made it so it's see-through, made the opacity very light so I could see where the cape would go. And then I just erased along the lines of the cape, so it made it look like he was actually in front of the desk. And yeah.
No way. Fantastic.
So the fact that you think it's not edited is perfect. I'm glad.
It's a fantastic shot,
that. That's what took so long was the editing. Because there's no way I could get everything I wanted in the shot to fit with the scale and with how big the figures are and just how clunky they are and how hard it is because doing that alone, each side fell a minimum of 3 times.
Wow.
It's because the Mad Hatter sucks at standing. Ventriloquist sucks to balance because of the puppet.
Yeah, that is true. Ivy's horrible ankles as well.
Yes. And you don't know where to spin them to actually get them to stand flat.
That is so true. Yeah, Ivy's awful. We're definitely talking about her a bit more later.
The easiest with the Joker with the wig.
Yes. And while we're talking of natural, this is another picture that is fantastic.
Kind of natural.
Yeah, this is a fantastic picture.
Thank you. I posted it before, but I thought I'm going to use my newfound Photoshop skills to add to make it more scene accurate. And so I added an all like black ninja figure to just make it like a secret society.
Yeah.
And then I used the Ra's al Ghul on the horse. It's all the same horse. I just took different pictures and photoshopped it, scaled them in there.
Yeah, it looks brilliant, man.
I hope I don't know if I matched the light exactly, but I'm getting there.
As soon as I saw that picture and knew exactly what episode it was from, quite apart from the fact it says Avatar at the top of it, but
it's not James Cameron's Avatar.
Yeah, Yeah, I knew exactly what that picture was straight away. And this picture as well. So there's been a lot of Schneider Cut movement this week, a lot, which is lovely to see. Everybody, the actors themselves, even Ben Affleck got involved, and he never gets involved in any of these things. Everybody's been getting involved in it, which is fantastic. And yes, this is a brilliant picture.
And those are Beast Kingdom figures. They're very nice. And then the Mezco is the dark side. And you yourself have the Beast Kingdom Steppenwolf, and you know how nice that is.
Yeah, he's amazing.
It was nice not only to find an excuse to use those figures as a hashtag release of Snyder Cut and show support. It's also nice to see everyone's like reaction to it, that they're all pumped. But it's really cool to, especially for all the naysayers. There's so many people that were online. Snyder Cut doesn't even exist. You guys are wanting to, it doesn't exist. Shut up. It doesn't exist. And it does exist. We've got confirmation. Like Aquaman seen it. Momoa seen it himself. He loves it.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's even people that say it's 94% done. The guy that did the scores, Junkie XL, he said the score is completely done. The effects are rumored to be 94% done. There's a few rough edges, but overall, and Snyder himself has even worked on, said he has multiple different cuts. So maybe with all the new streaming services, there's rumor that HBO Max might eventually have a Snyder Cut, so we can only hope.
I hope we do get it. I really do. Definitely been wanting it to happen for a long time, and I'm glad that people are finally, on the 2-year anniversary of Justice League, they're finally getting involved in it, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, and I love that DC has passionate fans like this, because you don't see Marvel fans still petitioning for like a different cut of an Avenger movie because they made Thor look way weaker than he was. There's no one ever campaigning for that.
Yeah.
So I love that the DC fans are so concerned that people get it right, that they're looking for Zack Snyder's version to see what he originally had envisioned.
Yes, definitely agree with you on that. Yeah.
Hopefully we see it. Hopefully.
I certainly hope so as well. Yeah, I certainly hope so. And to round things off, I want to talk about this picture. Lovely smoke effects on that. Is that atmosphere aerosol?
Yes. And that was one of the few times that I used a tripod for a picture, because I wanted to get this picture play.
Atmosphere aerosol, right? It must be me not knowing how to use it properly, but man, I just think it sucks so bad.
It took a long time for me to get it right, but I kept seeing other people do it right, so it's like, it's got to be me. I got to figure it out. Just a lot of trial and error, to be honest.
Yeah, I tried lighting from below, above, to the sides. It's I don't know what it is. It's dead strange. Can't seem to get it to work quite as well as that.
I don't even think it looks that well. A lot of it's the light, but I do think you can see traces of it. But a lot of times, like what you said, I think it's just traces of it, where unless you know what people are doing, you won't be able to tell. So I'm not even completely happy with it most of the time I use it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you like this one. This is a seminal. I remember this night very vividly, watching this while getting babysat by my cousin, asking if I could stay up late to watch Batman Beyond sneak preview. Then I watched it again Saturday morning.
Awesome. Great times.
Never again.
Brilliant figure as well.
We might have to talk about this figure again at the very end of the show.
Absolutely. Fantastic figure.
Fantastic. So I might have given away something there, but yeah.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. So have you picked up any new figures this week? Is there anything that you're thinking of getting, or anything?
There's one. I've been hunting, and I've been sharing on my story that I have been out hunting. And come across nothing new that I have to have. I come across plenty of new figures, plenty of new Marvel, Star Wars. I saw the Walmart exclusive Luke from Return of the Jedi that people are already going nuts about. And there's one figure that my cousin, he sent me a picture of today that's on like a Walmart on a different side of town, but we usually help each other so we don't have to waste gas. And he found the crack shot that I'm looking for. The Walmart has 6 of them.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a Walmart exclusive from McFarlane Toys, but it's a Nutcracker figure, and I gotta get it for Christmas with the Joker pick.
Nice.
I gotta get it. It looks so cool because it even has a mean face.
Yeah, so. Fantastic that one. I remember when you showed it in the last pod. Yeah, really cool figure.
So after this, almost probably right after I post this online, I'll be driving out to Walmart.
Nice.
40 points of articulation. I'm curious to see how many points of articulation they can fit on a figure.
I know, yeah. 40 points is just ridiculous. The fingers must be articulated on it.
They'd have to be, or else it just flop down from all their own.
Fantastic, yeah.
But that's the only one on my radar. I saw that NECA has released their competition for Mezco, which is like half the price, but also you get half the accessories.
Yeah.
With the Ultimate Michael Myers, it's all plastic. You get like a glowing pumpkin, like a pumpkin that has a head, like a skull in it. You get knives, every weapon, multiple head sculpts. But I guess clothing's really expensive because on this new one, you only get a knife and then like another kind of weapon, and that's it.
Yeah, but that's weird.
For those that don't want to spend tons of money on a Mezco or wait years for a pre-order to come to fruition and actually end up on your doorstep, that is a good option. And actually, I already saw people posting that they're thrilled to have it. So that is a cool option by NECA. Anything else I saw? Nothing new, really. I mean, nothing too crazy new that it hasn't already been out for a while. I've seen it new in person, but those are the relatively brand new things that I've just saw. What about you?
A few new things, but a major shout out to Kevin once again at Renke Customs. He's finally sorted out the Batgirl situation, and so we're going to be getting a Batgirl figure to go with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I'm going to be getting a preserver from him pretty soon, which is amazing. The preserver from Superman the Animated Series, he's finished the custom for that. So I'm going to be getting that soon, which I'm really excited about. And aside from that, there's only two other major things that I've got to show this week. I know I've shown you personally, but I've not shown anybody else yet. Which is the custom Mezco-style Joker figure. I've got to give a big shout out to Vincent, who is at VinFaith Custom, for the head sculpt painting on this. It's just ridiculous. The camera won't focus, so I'm sorry, but
it's too perfect. Even you gotta just show that off because everyone who even has that head sculpt, no one has the cloth version of the suit. You're the only person I've seen that has that suit.
It's the Clown Prince of Crime Mezco. With a suit that I bought from GP Slot on eBay. It's meant to be a Gomez suit, which makes me a little bit sick, but it fits nice for a Joker figure.
Hey, if there's one thing to come out of the Gomez figure, at least that figure.
They have a point.
You have that.
Yeah, so that's one of the figures that sort of cobbled together this week. And
that shows Scott's patience, people, because if I had that figure, you would have been reporting me for spamming.
Brilliant. That's one of the figures, and the other figure is this one. Now, this is a pretty incredible figure. Now, maybe kind of a year. So maybe sort of a year ago. This is going to be easier if I actually film it in a different way to what I usually would do. So I'm going to take my phone off here.
Here we go.
So here we go. It's a figure that is made by V-Toys. Now they are a company based out of China. I beg pardon. Now this is one of the most incredible action figures I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie.
I'm really curious.
And I can't get it out of the bag. Can't get it out of the bag. But
preserve it.
There we go. So it's the Extreme Environmental suit from Arkham Origins, made by V-Toys. It's an incredible.
It's a 1/12 scale?
It's a 1/12 scale, yeah.
That packaging looks like it's a hot toy.
Oh, it's freaking amazing, man. The packaging's crazy. If I can get it to fall out. As you can tell, I don't do unboxings very often.
It's also Mezco-esque.
It is. As there's no figure in there at the moment, obviously, because I've taken it out instantly. But what comes with is like this magnetic backdrop piece that you can use, which is pretty fantastic. And along with that is the figure itself, which I'm now going to sit back down to talk about. And also to do that. But yeah, the figure itself is crazy, man. The detail that you get on this is fantastic. It's like a Mezco-esque figure.
Oh my gosh!
It's the Cold Heart DLC XE suit. It's fantastic.
I can't believe someone made that figure.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? I couldn't believe it, but it's been one of the hardest figures I've ever had to try and find. I mean, the cape on it's fantastic. Yeah.
How much is that? Like super pricey?
You're talking about a Mezco price with tax, because I've had to buy it from Malaysia, so it's not too bad. But
that's fair.
Yeah, it's a one of a kind figure, that's for sure. And you've got alternate head with him, grappling gun. Batarangs, so it's a pretty damn cool figure. But I want to say a massive thank you to EMT and our anime services in Malaysia. Fantastic help from them guys. Yeah, I really appreciate that.
I love that you find these rare, like hard to find, barely known figures like that Arkham Batmobile. This is find.
I was so determined to find it because it's one of those figures that when I saw it, I was like, holy crap.
Where did you see it? Did you just come to know about its existence, or had you known about it for a while?
It was about a year ago I first saw about it. And it was about a year ago. Simon messaged me. He was at Batman, the animated fan, and just said, look at this figure. It looks fantastic. It's made by V-Toys, a new company. It's their first ever release. And say again, sorry.
Was it their only release?
It's been their only release so far. I mean, it's a very fragile figure, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be putting it into extreme poses, but it's very fragile. But it's you can tell it's a premium figure. Fantastic, and it scales well with the rest of the Arkham line, which is great. But yeah, it's just the details on it are absolutely amazing. You probably can't see it too well in this picture, but details that you get on that suit are just fantastic.
Oh, it looks amazing. What is the extra head sculpt? Is it a Bruce head?
It's a. I'm just trying to find it somewhere. Let's put it down. Here it is.
Open mouth cowl.
It is an open mouth cowl. He doesn't actually use this particular cowl in the DLC, but there it is.
Oh, it's even cooler.
Yeah.
An exclusive figure head.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Pretty nice figure all round. Fantastic. Can't wait to take some pictures of it. Fighting Mr. Freeze inevitably.
Exactly. And you have the perfect accessory.
Yes. Yeah, but good fun.
That's a huge find.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it was been a couple of weeks ago now that I'd brought it and finally arrived. I couldn't wait to take some pictures of it. But other than that,
were there any reviews on it?
No, it's a really tough figure to find. Somebody else had it in Malaysia, so I kind of messaged him and just said, "Look, where the hell did you get this from? It's amazing." And he hooks us up, and I came across EMT and our anime services from Malaysia. Yeah, they very kindly sent out to me. It isn't something that they said they'd usually do, but for a one-off, they let us have it. So I was really pleased.
That's awesome.
It's really, really kind of them.
Dang, that is cool. And no one's a bigger fan that I know of that Arkham franchise than you.
Yeah.
So if it should go to anyone, you're the right person to go.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind, and I really love the Arkham series, and that Cold Heart DLC is insane. So really, really definitely wanted to do pictures of that figure. Finally.
We'll take any excuse for you to do more Victor Freeze photos as well.
Yes, definitely. But
now, speaking of figures, especially ones that we love to love and love to hate, and a company we love to love and love to hate, DC Collectibles has recently shown the price points of their The Adventure Continues line. Have you seen these?
Very, very sort of briefly, I have. Yes, I'm going to refresh myself on it now. But DC Collectibles really do take the mick at the moment.
So, not only are they reissuing repaints of the Joker, Harley, Robin, not are they doing it. They're not even doing expression pack versions. They're just literally repaints. They're not accurate repaints, as Zulu posted about online and many others. And not only that, the fact that they don't have the extra head sculpt sucked too. We talked about Robin. But they've increased the price point to $30 for the original figure repaints, which originally were like $21, $22 here at least. And then for the Adventure Continues figures like the very cool looking armored Batman, and that figure itself is going to be $40.
Yeah, ridiculous, isn't it?
For basically a figure that can't move too much, and it's just a big tub of shampoo bottle, and you're going to charge us $40 for it.
Yeah.
That kind of blows, but you got to finish the collection because you got all the other figures are like 35 or 30. So that kind of, where do you stand on that, Scott?
I think it is ridiculous. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And the repaint of Robin's pointless. The repaint of Harley's pointless. I don't know why they're bothering.
It's a cash grab.
Yeah, the only one that I think is worthwhile, I said it at the time, I'll say it again, is Joker. Joker's the one that's better. The head sculpt, flip the camera around. The head sculpt is significantly better. Let me get that into view. Because it's got the yellow eyes, the black around the eyes, the teeth are better, the lips are better, the tongue's better. Everything's perfect about that head sculpt. It's much better.
And if you don't want to pay a hefty expression pack, that's perfect.
Yeah, and the Joker has soared in price recently as well. But Robin, I mean, it's just what
we shaded his armpits and his gloves. Big deal.
It's terrible, man. I mean, they not even changed the head sculpt, which is the one thing they needed to change, and they've included the horrible cape as well. I hate that cape.
Not even the cloth cape.
Yeah, I hate that.
Cape. They haven't.
I like the cape with a little bit over the shoulder. That's nice.
Yeah.
I hate that cape so much. Harley. Yeah, that's Harley. And Batman. Batman looks good.
Which that is worth the money.
Horrible ab crunch.
But that one's worth the money for the articulation upgrade and the cape.
Yeah. They did change his shoulders as well. His shoulders are a bit more bulky, which I like, and the cape's a bit wider to accommodate it. So do appreciate that, I guess, but I hate that ab crunch.
Yeah, but with skill like yours and other toy photographers, they could hide the ugliness of the crunch.
I guess so. Yeah. They should. When we said it before, they should have done a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle
diaphragm joints. Yeah,
they should have done
that.
How
can you do it on some figs, but not on others? Because they're lazy. They already did that. Screw it. Release.
Incredibly baffling. But yeah, as Tyler said, this is the big old Batman there. And best deal you're going to find $34.99 on Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah, but with tax and shipping, that jacks that up to past like a normal price anyway. So
yeah, and and the fact that this is in America, it's going to cost about £40 for us over here at least. So yeah, and it's not going to come out until May, which will inevitably end up being August or something with DC Collectibles. But
September.
Yeah,
at least as real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Deathstroke's 30 though, but why? Why is Deathstroke 30?
Yeah, I got no idea what they're doing.
I don't think
they have any idea either.
You think this figure would cost more than Deathstroke?
Yeah.
Asriel, those that are listening, sorry.
He's the one I'm looking forward to more than most.
But what's with that cape? Is that fabric? It better be plastic because that looks weak. If that's look at that. That looks like that Nightwing cape from Mattel. If that's fabric.
I hope it's not fabric. I do hope it's plastic. Like
I do see whatever. I feel like I see reused parts a lot, but it's not big.
Yeah. Yes.
I want that Red Hood figure more than anything, and that one's next.
Yeah, it looks good. I hate the articulation they're using on hips. By the way, they don't sit down anymore. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Batman has that issue. You can't sit down.
Batman's job doesn't require a lot of sitting. No, I'm just yeah, it would be nice to be able to put him in the Batmobile.
Yeah. But yeah,
that's the news for DC Collectibles.
It is the news. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing else figure-wise that's been going on lately. Yeah, it's
other than what we talked about, we got the new cloth NECA, McFarlane stuff. Nothing DC Multiverse concerned though.
No, absolutely not. Hopefully, we'll get some stuff very soon that's either leaks or released fully from McFarlane. Can't wait to see that. I'm really excited to see what they do. Hope they just pull it off.
Indeed. Now, do we have anything to talk about? Oh yeah, we do. Joker 2.
Yes.
What have you heard on that?
And apparently it's rumored but not confirmed, and depends what they do with it, I guess. I mean, I was not really convinced by a Joker movie at all, a Joker origin movie. So, yeah, definitely going to reserve judgment until now and see what they do with the story. Who knows what they're going to do? Yeah, what do you think?
That's perfectly put, because when I first heard a Joker solo movie starting from begin with, you're worried. You're like, what the heck? 2 Jokers? What?
Yeah.
But then you see it and it's a masterpiece. But then after that, you also think nothing's ever really as satisfying the second time. Sequels are never really that good unless it was The Dark Knight, which it had the Joker.
Yeah.
That's a top billing. But I'm kind of scared because you could, if it's any way inferior, people are going to say it's just a cash grab. And I even heard people say, well, it doesn't have to be as good as the first one. Then why do it?
Yeah.
If you're going to not make it as good as the first one, you're basically saying, we'll just be lazy and put Joaquin in some makeup on screen and you'll come and buy it. That's like insulting to the intelligence. You have, but even Todd Phillips, hopefully this is true. I heard that it's a rumor and he himself said he'd only do it if it had cinematic value.
Absolutely. I think that's the key point, isn't it?
I hope. We can only hope. And what's funny too is you'll see Joker movie post, any picture with Joker has easily over 1,000 likes, and I'm seeing a lot of the Joker 2 photos, not as many likes. So I think a lot of people are kind of iffy.
Yeah, I think they've said because it made $1 billion, it's now got to be put in, but you've got to pick it well. So Aquaman made $1 billion, I believe, and that is getting a sequel because the story was open to a sequel. I'm not convinced this was. I think that leaving it as a one-off is good, and maybe a lot of people speculated that Todd Phillips was going to be drafted in to do more solo movies for villains, obviously different to the Joker. So who knows? That could be something interesting, but I don't necessarily think that it's a given it's going to work.
It might work for like a freeze, but I don't know if it's going to work in the long.
Well, this is something that Todd Phillips has done as sort of a one-off. It's just like the only time he's ever been involved with this kind of style of movie. So I'm not saying Joker is a one-off, but it's harder to ask somebody who is unfamiliar with this territory to go and do it again for a different character and to re-understand everything that he's got right and to do it again. It's difficult, but I guess that's a sign of a great director, which he is. If you can come back and do it again, then all for it.
Thus far, he has shown that he is a good director.
Yeah, I think there's only three. I think there's only Freeze and Riddler. I think that you could make it work as an origin. I mean, maybe Harvey Dent, but we've seen it before.
Exactly. We've seen it before, and it was done really well.
Yeah,
and it basically was his origin story.
Yeah,
you don't need to add extra pad scenes and pad time or flashbacks. We get Harvey Dent.
Yeah,
but it's interesting that you say one of those villains, Edward Nygma.
Mr. Nygma.
Because that is something that we're going to talk about today, correct?
It is, absolutely.
One of your favorite villains on the animated series.
One of my favorite villains, one of my favorite episodes, and one of my favorite stories, all wrapped into one with the rise of Edward Nygma in BTAS.
Now, when we talk about this, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
I just remember this as a kid, very, very vividly watching it on the VHS tapes, and yeah, this was one of the episodes when I brought the videos back a few years later. This was one of the episodes that was on there. Yeah, I freaking love this episode so much. It's fantastic.
I think very much like you. It's one of the ones I can vividly remember seeing on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the Riddler is an awesome villain. He doesn't get his due a lot of time. I wish we would have seen him more, but I guess the one thing that's cool about this episode is that it is very memorable because you don't see too much of the Riddler. Yes. And it also is another example of Batman the Animated Series showing a villain's origin story in a way that you are sympathetic with him.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
True.
You very much get his motivation for why he's doing what he's doing. It makes sense. There's character development. And this is a 22-minute episode. It's crazy to think that there's more character development in this than most Marvel movies.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. Genuinely, like, joking aside, it's true. And they don't sort of dither around it. It's done quite quickly, swiftly, and very sort of deeply as well, which is fantastic.
And it ends with a very deep question, which I love.
Yes.
So, Scott, since this is your cup of tea, no pun intended with the British stuff, you go ahead and introduce us to this episode.
Okay, yeah, so if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? And this episode begins with Edward Nygma working at a company called Competitron. I love that name, by the way. We've gone from Cybertron to Competitron.
And it sounds competitive, and it sounds like computer.
Yeah, it is. It must have taken them ages to think of that. So at Competitron, and he's Edward Nygma is walking into what he thinks is his office, but unfortunately, he doesn't realise that Daniel Mockridge is he's the kind of guy that I imagine is the boss at Mezco or somebody. I think that's the kind of guy I feel like he is, or maybe DC Collectibles.
Yeah.
He's basically saying, you're fired, Nygma. Your history. You signed the contracts to work for us, and now you're trying to sue us because we're using your name,
ideas.
Yeah, using your ideas and all this, and so Nygma got fired for it, which is kind of harsh, I would say. Considering he's basically made them their millions for this game, which is Riddle of the Minotaur. And we then fly ahead to 2 years later.
Now, just the things I love about this scene. I love that we get to see him right away doing word puzzles. So he's always keeping that mind sharp, always keeping it active. He seems very sure of himself, almost cocky, arrogant. And he even displays that after he sees that he's been fired. He said, like, you'd be nothing without me, Mockridge. Like, you're a fool. You're dim-witted. Like, I'm brilliant. This company is basically run off of my ideas. And then he smugly gives him, which I think is why this is brilliantly titled, because it essentially is the whole line that starts the Riddler. And he says, oh, if you're so smart, why aren't you rich? Yeah. And it's very true. Very true. Yeah. So, I mean, there's smart, there's street smart, and there's logistical smart. There's different kind of smart. So, yeah. Riddler kind of got had there before he was Riddler. That's some of my favorite things. And then where do we go after this? 2 years?
Yeah, so 2 years ahead, we fly to 2 years later, and Bruce Wayne has been pitched the idea of the Minotaur made in Gotham, the whole sort of amusement park and all this is going to be made, and Bruce wants it to bring jobs in. I love how Bruce is always connected to these things in some way. Yes. Bruce runs Gotham. He really does. And in more ways than just, in a suit. A different kind of suit. And, as they're discussing the business deal, Daniel Mockridge, who was in the building, he sees the sort of billboard behind him with the rotating words, and it says, why do multi-million-dollar deals break down in the wasteland? And Mockridge completely freaks out immediately. And Batman's trying to work out what's going on then, because we fade into the Batcave at that point, which is a really nice scene as well.
Yes, and for that whole scene that we saw, I really got like when he's talking about the Competitron and the Minotaur like land. He does take on kind of an image, or he even has the same kind of pencil mustache as Walt Disney. So that's kind of funny that he's trying to continually take other IPs or other people's ideas. And little did they know that that's exactly what Disney would continue to do, just steal other people's ideas and pay for them.
Yeah.
So it's still, this series is still making connections to today. And the other thing that's nice to see is it's nice to see Lucius again. You don't see Lucius. So it's nice to see him as an important figure at the head of the table with Bruce, listen to this deal. And another thing, I really felt like this is where we start to see, I do feel like there's aspects of this episode where it feels like a horror show, because those clues, they're just riddles, but they're very scary. I don't know. There's something very scary about them. Cryptic, as it were.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
I love the music they put with this episode as well to go with it.
Yes, that probably is a big part of the mood.
Yeah.
And then where do we see at the Batcave?
Yes, the Batcave. So we see Robin playing on the Riddler of the Minotaur game, and he's trying to work out the quickest way to one point on the globe, and then Alfred's like, "Might it be a curved line, sir?"
He's not impressed.
He gets scooped up by the hand of fate and moved elsewhere. And Batman manages to work out that Mockridge owns a club called the Wasteland. It's like, come on, like Daniel Mockridge is walking straight into a trap, which I love that scene because it just turns instantly. The mood does, which is a fantastic scene.
Then we go to see Riddler, correct?
Yes, indeed.
See him in very nice lighting.
Yeah.
And we finally see him make a confrontation with Mockridge, where he basically spells out how he's going to get revenge on him. And in that area, we see Batman and Robin come in because they've, as Scott said, Bruce worked it out. They come crashing through, and Batman's already figured out everything about the Riddler. He already knows who he is because he guessed everything and figured it out. So he knows Edward Nygma, and he even right away says, "The Riddler, huh?" Because the Riddler says a classic line where anyone was it for those who want to cross something with the Riddler. What is it?
I think it's like they have to match wits with the Riddler.
Yeah,
or something like that. Yeah.
And Batman says, "Oh, clever play on your name."
Do you know what happens? That's it. Do you know what happens to gate crashers? They have to match wits with the Riddler.
Yes. And that's when Batman gives away the hint that he knows who he actually is. And he's right. It's Edward Nygma. And Robin tries to, take action, and he falls prey to a Chinese finger trap, human size. And then Mockridge, meanwhile, has been handcuffed to a door, and the whole place is getting set on fire. And Riddler is just concerned about making sure the dynamic duos and has plenty of puzzles to take care of themselves while taking care of Robin, and the Riddler takes care of Mockridge and takes him along with it.
Yes.
And Batman hauls Robin's big carpeted butt out, and he's on fire, and he makes sure that Robin's safe in an alley.
Yes.
What do you think of that?
All's well ends well, sort of. Apart from the fact that Mockridge has disappeared. But, I love the Chinese finger trap. I think it was quite a clever thing to use to take Robin out. But I love it. I love everything about this scene. The Riddler's entrance is really creepy, and it's fantastic. And then how they give Riddler a real sort of presence in that scene.
Yeah.
Which is what I really like. And, fantastic. So memorable as a kid.
Oh, yeah. And if first impressions are anything, this is exactly how you want to show the Riddler, because in different iterations we've seen, and especially in the 66 version, he's very campy.
He is.
He's a very campy character, and that's not necessarily the tone of this show, but I think they struck a pretty good balance, especially how they show them in the low lighting, all of that. I think that's fantastic. And even though they do have a pretty corny, the finger trap could be considered corny, I think it's strikes a good tone, a good balance, because the nice nod to the classics, but we're moving on to something a little dangerous in the maze or the corn, right?
The corn, yeah. Which is the next riddle, which is a pretty cool riddle. So, well, we're looking here. I did write down somewhere, which is extremely annoying. So, when is the Minotaur's owner as high as an elephant's eye? Which is the question that Batman works out via Morse code, because the light, a bit like the lights in the city, they went dark. Yes, as I just did. And yes, so as they're driving down, it was as they're driving down the street, the city sort of flashing with all these lights, and Batman manages to work out that it's Morse code. And the riddle is, when is the Minotaur's owner as high as an elephant's eye? And the answer is corn, from an old song that Batman knows, of course, because Batman knows everything. And when he's sort of working out, saying, what's another word for corn? And he's like maze, when Mockridge is in the maze.
And really Robin kind of struggles. Robin struggles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a clever, and it just does make it's a good scene. I think it shows Batman showing detective skills, which that's always rare, especially nowadays.
It is,
or just about showing him punch people. And it's also nice seeing that. That's probably a lot of writing for the writers to come up with the Riddler's riddles.
Yeah, that's it. It's a good point, because there isn't really any fighting in this whole episode other than one scene, so it's really cool to see.
Very.
I have to use his brain to get out of the situation.
And then from there we go to the third act, correct? To the big finale.
Indeed, the big finale.
And this is where Batman and Robin show up to where they suspect the Minotaur's maze is. And they're right away greeted by the Riddler, who is just so thrilled that they're able to come and join his game. And he says that if they're going to play the game, they got to leave their utility belts. Yeah. Which I think is funny, because in one of the scenes, one of the animators must have forgot, and you see that there's a belt on Batman. Just a little blooper. But I noticed a few things. There's also a scene where it shows a guy Riddler has tied up in the scene of a question mark. I thought that was really cool. Never noticed. And what we see Batman and Robin enter the maze. And I love everything about just the scenes, that the block walls against the red sky are very cool.
So true.
Like you said, there's no fighting, and this is all brain teasers and riddles. And what is the first one they see is the dragon thing that Robin thinks just blocks the way, and he shoots a fireball at him.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the what are they called now? The ones that block off the way. I can't remember what they were called. Griffin. Yeah, the Griffin.
Wow, Griffin.
Yeah, blocks off the way that you've came.
The lion.
Yeah, the first one was I remember the arrow on the wall saying "loses a head," and the blades come out of the wall, and it's like loses a head. Yeah,
I don't know. It's more terrible.
Then the next riddle is which way to the eating place, which is another riddle, and they go the wrong way because it was in Arabic, wasn't it? And they eat with the right hand, and he went to the left. I think that's right. And then the hand of fate appears, which is pretty cool. I love how we get to see the hand of fate. Yeah. Which
again, this story, every scene has a purpose. It sets it up at the very beginning, so you know what they're talking about. That's more than most movies nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, we must be going the wrong way because here comes the hand of fate, which is great.
And you know exactly what they mean.
Yeah, and then they're looking to get into the doors, and they're using. I think they use the D key first because you've got A, C, and D, and D's got 2 sharps, I believe, and they were going to use the A. And he's like, no, it's the C key. Trust me, Robin. I actually knew this one. And he's like, it's got no sharps, which is pretty cool.
That is a cool nod.
Yeah, and it's a good job they did use the D key at first, because Batman takes a bit of the blade from it, which he will then use to take Riddler down.
Yes. And he does this by breaking a rule in the maze, which of course brings the Hand of Fate. And Robin's freaking out, holy cow, Batman, the Hand of Fate. Yeah. And then Batman, of course, says, that's what I wanted. And then he gets on it and cuts it open and rewires it so that he has control of it with his Palm Pilot, which again, they set up multiple times at the beginning of the episode. So again, more setup and finish. So he controls it with that. And of course, Riddler has a fit, and he's very upset that Batman is cheating, because he hates those kind of people that cheat, as we saw him get cheated earlier. But Batman makes the confrontation along with Robin, picking him up, almost looking like a magic carpet ride. They get to the center of the maze where the Minotaur has a sword, and he is about to kill Daniel Mockridge if Batman can't answer the riddle. And it's actually quite a simple riddle, looking back at it now, especially, I mean, some of the first ones going through the maze are way more difficult than this one. But Batman's able to tell that the riddle is, the answer is the brain, because that is the only thing that Edward Enigma respects. So,
yes, indeed. It is, yeah. And I think that's a fantastic riddle to use at the end.
Yeah, and the Minotaur has a haunting voice, very hard act like.
It is, yeah. And unfortunately, that's not quite the end, because the Minotaur then decides to attack them after Riddler commands him to. Yes. But Batman uses a riddle of his own to, like, how do you take a Minotaur out with a single blow? And then the Hand of Fate comes flying in and wipes him out, which is quite enjoyable.
Which is perfect. The way they set it up throughout the whole episode.
Yeah. And then, after the Hand of Fate takes him out, he's like, oh, sorry, boys, but you'll never find me. So by the time you're out of the amusement park, I'll be out of the city. And then he flies away in a plane.
Which is actually cool that a villain actually does get the upper hand overall.
Yeah. And then we see this scene after, when they're saying that we've been tracking Riddler for months and we haven't been able to find him, and Mockridge won't be sleeping well, like, so he says.
Yeah. Well, Robin talks about. Oh, well, he made off like a bandit, get he pocketed 10 million or something off the video game still anyway, off of Enigma. And Batman's like, that's okay, because, and then it shows I could imagine his fear, because you can see Daniel Mockridge in his house, and he's walking around shutting the lights off with a shotgun, and he's like taking that to bed with them, and he looks like he's having an anxiety attack. And over that, Batman's talking about Mockridge may have gotten away with the money, but the big question is how, he won't be sleeping anytime soon. And then he says, that's the big question, how much is a good night's sleep worth?
Yeah, it's brilliant.
And he's like hiding with his hands above us. I love it.
Yeah. If I profited 10 million from something like that, though, I'd probably get a few bodyguards, I've got to say.
Exactly. So I think I'd still be sleeping.
Rather than divvying around with a shotgun all the time, I'd be definitely getting some bodyguards in instead. Very strange. Calls himself a businessman.
I think I'd be sleeping pretty good with 10 million.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's a poetic ending, and I get what they're doing, and I appreciate it.
So what are you going to rate it out of 10 this episode?
I will, because this is for anyone that actually appreciates writing and film, or took any film class or any kind of thing with writing screenplays or anything, you'll be impressed with just the way that, like we talked about, where it sets it up, even with they don't hit you outside the head with, I have a Palm Pilot. This I can hack things with, but it's just subtle. It's it's subtle, and you get everything, even though it's not hitting your. You're not offended. You're not irritated watching it. It's brilliant. So I would, and the fact that you had to write all the riddles, and they've talked about multiple outlets about how tough it was doing the Riddler episodes. So I would give this a 9. I think it's pretty up there.
Yeah.
Especially because you only get 2 Riddler episodes.
I know, yeah. It is a shame with the Riddler. Yeah, I completely agree. It's just so well thought out, and a different kind of fight that Batman has to go up against. I'm going to give it a 9.5. It's one of my favourite ever episodes, and easily, one of the most incredibly well written and best portrayals of a villain, I think, with Riddler.
Okay, if you had to show someone that's never seen this episode one scene to show them, to sell them on this, what would you show them?
Oh, that's a good question. I think I love the Hand of Fate's scene when Batman has to hack into it, but I think the opening scene, I honestly think the opening scene is great, just because how Nigma is going to plot his revenge, and it's very unpredictable.
And it gets you invested right away.
It does, yeah, it really does. But there's so many scenes with this; it's fantastic. And in fact, actually, I changed my mind. The best scene I'm going to go for is when they have to take their utility belts down and they head into the maze. That I'm going to pick that scene definitely.
Okay.
Now,
because I was going to pick the opening.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go for that scene where they have to put the utility belts down, because it's a little bit alternative. Even though, as you say, Batman magically gets it back for one scene.
For one scene, right after he helps Robin dodge the flame ball from the Griffin. Okay, now it is for the segment that you introduced to the show.
Yes.
What's your figure of the week?
Figure of the week is quite predictable. It's going to be the Joker.
Oh, that's not predictable. I thought you might have gone art.
Yeah, the Phoenix Joker custom. Definitely. Yeah. Big thanks to Vincent at Vin Faith Custom for the head sculpt painting. Amazing.
You got to post the pic.
Yeah, definitely. Could appear this weekend. Can't guarantee it, but it probably
Are there any British areas with stairs?
Unfortunately not, but I've worked on something a little different for a picture I've done for him that I'm going to use.
I'm looking forward to it because I want to see people's reaction to that freaking cloth suit. No one has that.
I'm trying to upgrade my pictures. I actually got a proper camera for once. So
I was wondering if that's another reason why you took time off, but I didn't want to give anything away if you wanted to.
Yeah, that was part of it, but yeah, just fed up mainly.
No, that's understandable. Sometimes you need to refresh.
Yeah.
Nice to get away. Well, my figure of the week, it's not too predictable because I feel like, or it is kind of predictable because I've gone along the lines before. It's a slightly younger figure. Bruce this time.
Brilliant figure.
And I love it for this Bruce aspect because there's a perfect Terry Batman Beyond already in the animated film.
That head's amazing. The Terry head is unreal.
Yeah, I do love that. And this is the Total Heroes Mattel Batman Beyond, and it has like a Bruce Wayne, maybe late 50s or mid 50s. And it also has a Terry head sculpt. It comes with tons of batarangs, and it actually, you got your money's worth back in the day. I actually had pretty cool figures from that whole line. You and I have both picked up figures from that line outside of this figure, and we've been happy with them, right?
Yeah, definitely have. Absolutely have. I've got the GL, you got the Black Manta as well.
Yes, and I love the versatility of that Black Manta.
Yeah, he's exceptional.
And we didn't want to do a guest this week because since we're unveiling a new Instagram page and all that, we didn't want to have any guests feel like we were not giving them the proper attention. They weren't getting the full exposure that they would normally get because everything.
Yes.
And yeah, we just didn't want to have to deal and explain all that to too many people. So
yes,
one thing at a time. But we will have a guest. We might have already dropped their name in this episode.
Indeed, absolutely.
But we hope you enjoy. We want to thank you, and we already kind of said at the beginning, but we want to thank you for the support, especially on the stories and seeing people saying, "Hey, go follow the new Instagram podcast page because they got hacked." It's really nice. It's beyond kind. We truly appreciate it because that
massively appreciates it. Yeah, massively appreciate it. It's really kind of people.
Any final words?
Yeah, well, again, just a big thanks to everybody that did that and supported, and and a big thanks to everyone who's been taking amazing pictures of Sweet, yourself included. It's been really inspirational, so really enjoyed that, and thanks to everybody listening as always.
Thank you, Scott, for coming out of retirement for 4 days. We can't wait to see the pictures. And you showed us a figure that probably none of us ever knew existed, so that's always cool. And a thank you to Simon for getting that to us because out of that, we got to see that figure.
Yes, definitely.
And without Batman, we would not know any one of us. So that's the leader.
Yeah.
So this has been a fun episode, a little shorter than usual by an hour, but we hope you enjoyed the content. And this is going to be everywhere for podcast and, of course, on YouTube video form. So we will speak to you next week. We hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.